And he's a morning shower, so he's got that sand in your bed. Whatever. That's rude.
That's how it is. Here we go. Once upon a groove on an old soul tune. I watch the pin move to shape the breakthrough. Who makes moves, maneuver in the right direction? The rest of you get left behind and messed up in this session. I'm not trying to make a difference, maybe some pocket change. I'm content with the
Welcome to Drugcast Live!
Hey!
Episode 158. Chewy, calm down.
What?
We'll get to this in a second. I'm Travis.
I am Dylan.
And our podcast takes place in bars and restaurants all over the world. We like to talk about the things that have happened over the week and enjoy a beverage with interesting people. I'm not wrong about that, right? We usually like to hang out with interesting people.
Yeah, usually.
Usually, yeah.
Mostly.
Well, mostly,
Whoops.
yeah.
It's kind of a rough night tonight then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we always have B team, ready?
Yeah.
Captain and commander of the B team, we have Adam McWaters over here on my left-hand side. He's our beard and luck dragon.
Witness me.
A fan of all things Jesus, of course.
Super fan.
That's why he grew the beard.
That guy is so great.
Yeah. I just want him to be like, hey, cool beard. Thanks,
So
Jesus.
I'm always wearing sandals.
Yeah. You do wear sandals a lot. Yeah.
Nobody beats the Riz.
And across from him, we have our banjo. We have Ben Hampton. He hasn't been on the show for a while.
I know. I just moved up from the C team. Actually, it's my first day. on
Yeah,
the B
welcome.
team.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. I'm glad you went from C rank 1 to B rank 265.
Right. Yeah.
Because the team was really missing you. So
Yeah, but you know, I think I have a lot to prove. I think I can really move up in the ranks pretty quickly
I have faith in
if I try.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in the spirit of Christmas, welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah, welcome to the party, pal. Come on down. We'll have a couple drinks, have a
This is
few
a
laughs.
humongo shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're only doing
Cheers.
this guy.
Cheers to our audience. We have Andrea Stellato over here. We have Dylan Canfield over here on the phone, and of course Donnie Dotson.
Wonder who Dylan's talking to. What's that about?
No.
Oh man, looks serious.
Yeah.
shots.
Do you think it's the IRS?
The INS found him finally. Yeah.
Why do you answer then?
Is that his ICE agent?
IS agent. So I want to go ahead and get this out of the way. This is Star Wars opening weekend, Star Wars Episode 7. If you're listening to this and you're interested in Star Wars in any way and you haven't seen the movie yet,
You better stop now.
be prepared because they're going to be spoilers. So if you're interested in seeing how we're going to talk about it without worrying about the movie being ruined, then you're wrong. We're going to accidentally probably ruin the movie for you. But I think we're going to have. I think we are all just so excited about it. I think we could have a pretty good conversation.
Yeah.
Or at worst, we'll just have something to talk about the entire time. Or we can just talk about Uber. So
Yeah.
Or the lack thereof?
yeah. But first, Banjo, what you been up to, man?
Well, I went to Disney World,
Yeah.
which was great.
Yeah.
All the new Star Wars updates are great there.
Yeah.
Took in all that. The child is now tall enough to ride every ride, and she did.
Oh, cool.
Many, many times.
Cool, cool.
I threw my new phone into the floor of a roller coaster, and I watched it bounce around. And we turned upside down, and the phone stayed in there, and it was fine when I got out. So,
Fantastic.
So
yeah,
lucky.
that must have been tense, though, huh?
Yeah.
oh, that was pucker factor 11. And it was the first time Elise had ridden the rock and roller coaster
My
featuring
asshole
Aerosmith.
still hurts.
Sure.
Featuring Aerosmith?
Yeah, they introduce you.
The last thing
to the
featuring
thing.
Aerosmith I experienced was that fucking shooter game in arcade.
X.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that was terrible.
That game wasn't so bad. You shot CDs
That was fun.
at guys.
Yeah.
I'd like you to say what you just said inside,
Before you
and then
speak again.
and then reevaluate your opinion of that game idea.
It was one of these arcade games where you have a gun.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Terminator.
A gun, whether the Terminator or
Or
whatever.
for you, maybe Operation Wolf or Vietnam or the War of 1812.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or rush and attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you were helping the Korean War.
Part of the Foreign Legion.
But yeah, like the whole gag was like Aerosmith was kidnapped and you had to save them, and your gun shot CDs
Yeah.
for some reason. It's like
That still sounds slightly better than the Journey arcade game from back in the 80s.
was there a Journey?
Yes,
arcade
there
game?
was.
Okay, I want to table that because I want to know more about
Let's go back.
We're going to
to
come
that
back
one.
to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so it is a electromagnetic one. It just launches you at like 70 miles an hour, and it's the only one in the park
Nice.
that goes upside down.
Right, your neck hurts
And the
after.
thing is,
Yeah.
you're wandering through
Good
a
stuff.
music production studio, and then there's a screen in the first of the queues, and there's Aerosmith back there, and they're adjusting things and wearing
And they're-
funny hats,
and they're fucking old.
and they're old. But this is like this coaster was built like 11 or 12 years ago, so they're not as old as they are now, obviously.
Right, but they're still old at that time.
Yeah. And Melanie still has a huge crush on Steven Tyler. I think it's a mom issue thing. I don't know exactly. But, so anyway,
Me and my therapist think it's a mom issue thing.
whoa,
Yeah.
just keep going.
Is
I'm just going to work with this.
Does
yeah.
this feel like how it was working when you're watching the when
Yeah.
you're on
Do
the,
you
on the
feel like
ride?
you're on the ride again?
Yeah.
And then the whole story is, oh no, Aerosmith guys are so wrapped up in creating this song that they forgot they had a show, so they have to get to the show really quick. Here's a stretch limo, and then you get into the stretch limo themed
Sure,
car, and
sure.
it shoots you across Hollywood,
Sure,
basically.
sure,
And you throw your phone in the bottom of it.
sure.
Yeah.
It's
And
part of the
you
experience.
forget to look at your child watching her first time she's going upside down in a coaster because you're too busy staring at the floor,
Yeah.
hoping that your new
Waiting
device
your-
doesn't fall
waiting
to the
for your phone to
pit.
disintegrate
Right.
into pieces.
yeah,
Waiting for $700 to go flying.
yeah,
somewhere
into
yeah,
the darkness. Yeah, yeah.
Ain't no warranty
And when you get off,
covering
and she
that.
goes, "Let's go again." And I go, "Okay, I'll put this in the backpack." And then we went again. And that phone was babied for the rest of the trip.
How was the so what were the Star Wars updates? You've been previously when there was a Star Wars area already?
Yeah, they had something called Star Tours, which is C-3PO gets. Oh no, the pilot of this cruiser thing steps out, and 3PO steps in, and now he's the pilot, and it takes you through certain scenes of the original trilogy.
Okay.
But now they added all the Force Awakens stuff in there, and some of the new trilogy in there.
What kind of Force Awakens stuff is there? Like no spoilers or anything there, right? Like
There
there's
is. These are in the trailers anyway.
new troopers, the
The new troopers are there.
environments. and-
There's flying through the destroyed Star Destroyer.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So that's all 3D and
Nice.
and it's one of those things where the ride doesn't move, the seats do,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's the screen that does it. It makes you feel like you're moving quicker.
I've always loved that shit.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Elise loved it. She didn't want to love it, but she did once she got on it.
Was you worried?
No, she complained about because it didn't go anywhere. She wanted things that dropped and made her stomach go into her.
Oh yeah, she like the Tower of Terror.
A Tower Terror,
Yeah,
or, yeah, Rock and Roller Coaster, or Splash Mountain, any of the rides she
Sure,
wanted to do.
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So it was a great time.
I'm glad she had a good time.
Yeah, me too.
The armband thing, we were talking. Andrew and I were talking about how the armband thing was just so neat for food.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain? You guys went to the Be Our Guest restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Fucking fascinating to me. Because you go and you sit down and what is the exact environment? What room in Beast Castle are you sitting in?
We sat in the doll room where they did the dance.
Okay, cool.
You know, the first 3D whatever.
Yeah.
But they do have a West Wing
opulent.
Beast's bedroom where the slashed picture and the rose in the
It's like a hologram rose in the glass.
Yeah, I have pictures.
That's fucking cool.
And they have another wing, which is, I don't know, it has like a statue or something in it. I don't know. We didn't go in there. But the ballroom thing is kind of neat because it's always snowing outside, and there's sometimes storms that show up, and it just looks like you're in a very cold place all the time.
Wow.
It's kind of neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but they track you with your armbands, so when you order, you can order before you even get there, and they just know where you are. It doesn't matter where you sit; they just bring the thing over to you, and there you are. You pay for everything with that. You get
Very
into your hotel room with that. You get into the parks with that.
That's awesome.
I want to make a show. Alex Jones at Disney.
They're tracking you.
This is how they find you everywhere
I
you
open
go.
this up. It's got poison in it.
Kids, this is the future.
I ordered a fried chicken, and the fried chicken came to my table. How'd they know that? How'd they know?
But I didn't speak it.
They were tracking me.
My mind, they're in my
I've
head.
been saying for years that Walt Disney was a lizard man, and I have proof now. Anyway, I'm going to the teacups.
Yeah. Time for a Dole Whip. Which I did have. I had 3 in one day. I had one for breakfast one day.
Really?
That is so not like me. But
Oh, what?
What is an adult whip?
a Dole.
A Dole whip. Dole.
It's
Dole.
now I think it's the only place you
Dole
can
Whip
get
is-
them.
You should, if
Yeah,
you
that's
don't
a
know by
different.
now,
That's a different park.
Yeah, that's what I was curious. I mean,
Yeah, that's not a Disney thing. Sorry.
that's an Epcot thing.
Yeah, I definitely a thing.
That's the Amsterdam
That's a
area.
Universal Studios. Yeah,
Red light district. Yeah.
that'd be great. No, Dole pineapple. They blend that up with soft serve, and this is the only place you can get. They used to sell them in Hawaii somewhere, at the plantation. Now you can't get them there because it's closed.
Yeah,
So
Waikiki, I
now
think.
Disney World is the only place to get the Dole Whip, and it is fantastic. It's so pineapple.
You can also potentially get it in
Nice.
your own kitchen,
You could-
assuming
you
you
could-
have a blender.
Yeah, you could probably make it. It's not the same though.
It's about getting
not
that
the
ratio,
same.
Ben. That's it.
Not the same.
You just got to figure out that ratio.
You're not at Disney World then, though.
You can. You can
Yeah,
be.
you're never going to argue against Ben on Disney World.
It's
so.
okay. It's okay.
Well, and something that you were saying, Ben, I thought was really fascinating. You guys had the part of the band, you had an extra band that allowed you to stay longer, right?
Yeah,
And people were shuttled out of the park at a certain period of time.
that's the hologram rose
Unless you
thing.
had the
This
stay
is
late
a
pass.
picture of the you have the hologram in the glass from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
as
and
the petals
it's
are falling off, and of
spinning,
course you have
yeah.
Elise dressed as Belle,
Of course.
from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
And she
They
looks-
turned
she looks-
hologram
she looks fucking-
2-pack into a flower.
Aw.
Well, I mean, he was a flower the whole time. Have you listened to any of his music?
I know.
He was.
You're just not a fan.
Yeah, that last petal fell. He got shot by Biggie Smalls. Man,
Yeah, so
I might remember that wrong.
we bought tickets to the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas thing, which gave you extra hours at Magic Kingdom from 7 to 1 a.m.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the park closed for the downstairs people at 7.
The people under Downton Abbey.
Yeah, the people that had to build Downton Abbey.
For Jack and all his friends who are just dancing in the kitchens
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, they're all down there. They had to leave at 7,
Yeah,
and
of course.
and we're walking around thinking, how are they going to get? Because it's just this little armband. It's just an extra armband, like you'd go to any concert and see a little plastic, whatever, snap-on thing.
Drones,
There
that's
are,
how.
There are approximately 48 million people in this park right now. How are they going to get all these people? You just got to hide it and be like, yeah, I got it, and then walk in. No, every entrance to every store, restaurant, every bridge, they have a group of people there, and as you walk by, they ask to see your band. If you don't have it, one of them peels off,
Yeah,
and they
they
escort
kick
you
your
out.
fucking ass.
Wow.
They
Yeah.
kick you out. And they start at the back of the park at a certain section. They clear that out, and they keep working it, and they say, yeah, it's almost 100%. Like, no one can get through this. So
like
they,
20 or 30 minutes, right?
Wow.
Yeah, in 30 minutes, the
Can you
park
imagine
is cleared out.
the manpower
John Cena could
necessary
get
to, be able
through it.
to actually do that
The
shit?
TSA can't even do that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how they do it.
John Cena actually has a lifetime ban at all the Disney parks.
A lifetime band?
A band, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Band. Yeah, it was correct, yeah.
Yeah.
He plays all the music.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
I mean, he's pretty awesome. You know, he's John Cena. I'm not playing the music.
John Cena moving on.
Yeah. Next topic. I'm glad you guys had a good time.
Yeah, it was great.
How busy, empty, full was the park after?
It was pretty empty. The only rides that had any line were the brand new Seven Dwarfs Mine Train thing, and the rest of it was. If it was more than 10-minute wait, Elise was like, "What are we doing? What's going on?" Like, child, you don't. I have waited 2 hours or more for this ride before.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're still moving. That's a pretty good sign.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, worth it.
Okay, Google, remind me in 10 years to play this episode for Elise. When your father said, just shut up.
What he really meant when he said those words that he didn't say
I
here
really meant
was
I love you.
the
But be quiet while I love you.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Let me love
But
you
I won't
silently.
Silently.
yes, but I won't love you if you keep talking.
Yeah. No words, just feelings.
More than words.
Just move in the line.
Our own Ben Draper, everybody.
Let's go and take our first break, and we'll come back and we'll talk some Star Wars. Well, I just want to have a longer period of like just fucking being so excited. I'm so excited. I think we were all very excited. So let's come back and do some more. But
Wipe the dust off the canvas and wait till we break.
is Giraffe doing Sudoku? No, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Soul shoes, tripping on his deep groove. And the nights new, what a feeling, what a nice mood. A bam, boom, rock, we're here to rock you. It's like, damn, what a vibe. Woo.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Hey! Sorry, everybody.
Second segment 2.
The races too.
The racist too. That was a Gaiden episode.
It's actually a segue to how non-racist a proper Star Wars movie can be.
Oh man, I almost grabbed that clip. I almost grabbed that clip from that fucking person. Didn't she get to like CNN or Fox News or some? There was a woman in the news before this Star Wars movie came out who got up into a large stage in the United States to explain how the original Star Wars trilogy was racist.
I have not seen that.
I thought that was your reference. I thought that you were literally talking about that. Like,
I was just saying that the first movies were quite racist.
oh, of course. Well, yeah, because they
but I
don't.
had not seen that actually specific things.
And then the other ones.
The problem was like what she was saying made zero fucking sense, and not even like the racial this or that. She said that Luke, the white guy, was going against the black guy. All right, so tenuous already. With a bunch of white guys. She's talking about the stormtroopers as being the Ku Klux Klan. It's like, all right, you literally haven't even seen the movie because Luke versus the stormtroopers is literally one of the first things you learn. He puts on that mask because he's trying to subvert. Yeah. But this person got to a major news publication and made this point like she was.
This is the world we live in.
This is the world we live in. It was so confusing and weird.
We had that Twitter handle guy like @fartbucket or something who went on.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Like went on a national news service and basically made up bullshit, and like the person never got it.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was about oh crap! What was it about? I'll come back to that because that was pretty funny.
That
No, I was
was
just referring to segue into Star Wars.
About how the
well, the prequels were full
prequel.
of stereotypical, really bad
and
stereotypes.
the prequels just especially like I didn't remember. So we all saw Star Trek Episode 7, Force Awakens.
Star Trek, yeah,
Star Trek. Yeah, I don't know why I said it.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm all over the place because I'm.
show's over.
Yeah. All right. See you guys later.
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. We
Awesome.
all saw Force Awakens.
Awesome.
In order to get to that point, I wanted to watch as many of the old movies as I could, and I wanted to watch through because I didn't really see the second one in any form or fashion, in a good way. I only watched a cam rip that was on VHS.
You only went to the movie theater,
No.
and watched it like everyone else did. And it was horrible.
No, that's literally the opposite. I watched someone else watch it with a camera, and then I watched it on VHS on like a 15-inch screen. Like that's the only time I ever saw the second one, and I
Probably the best version of that movie.
right.
too.
I felt like I got the good experience, you know.
I can see the authenticity in that.
So that was like my plan was to watch through the prequels in order to get ready for the new ones, obviously. I was going to watch all 6, but I just didn't have time. And so I watched through these, but our friend Evan said you should watch the anti-cheese versions. The anti-cheese versions is some fan went through and just took the cheese out. And I didn't really know exactly the extent of what that was, but
there's a lot of cheese.
There's a lot of cheese, but the big
You
deal...
condensed 3 movies into 30 minutes?
Probably.
Is that- yeah.
Well, no, he kept dumb stuff, but not the cheesy stuff. So some of the cheesy stuff, and I didn't even really...
That's a fine line.
Really didn't even recognize it, was that
skipped the entire
they took
second
Jar
movie.
Jar. Basically, they took every alien who had some kind of super racist accent and turned them back into aliens with subtitles.
That's fine.
So when Jar Jar spoke, he spoke from... and then it was subtitles. And like, oh, okay, we don't feel like... Lucas doesn't understand what black people sound like. And when the Trade Federation guys are speaking, they're crazy, like, me so horny, like, bullshit, racist Chinese thing. Like, that was all taken out, too. It was like, this is just, now they're just aliens. Like, oh, okay. So I forgot about how racist the actual trilogy was until I saw pieces from the Plinkett reviews again. So, yeah. God, so bad.
They really are bad.
It is massively.
But The Force Awakens has none of that.
None of that. So fucking good.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, the comment I made a couple times off the air was something that you posted on Facebook, Travis, basically saying you felt like a kid again.
Yeah.
Which is exactly how I felt watching the movie. Like, I was there the first time when it happened, in the 70s, and yeah, I felt like
In a galaxy
far,
long,
far
long
away.
ago.
It was.
Were you there?
It was just 7-0. That was like minutes after the Big Bang.
Right.
It was long time ago.
Yeah.
But no, just the pure just joy of they did a fantastic movie. They serviced the fans well.
Yeah.
They serviced the universe that all takes place in very well.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome.
And it's
I walked out of the theater and I want to go right back in and watch it again.
Like I mentioned to someone else in that same thread, the when the crawl happened, every Star Wars has that crawl, that credit crawl.
Yeah.
And when that happened, because I'd been watching the prequels, the crawl felt so absurd and also so welcoming because it made sense. Just reading the words actually made so much more sense in comparison to the 3 movies I'd just seen.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was interested again. And then 15 minutes in, I was just like a fucking child, like I mentioned. Like,
grinning?
It all just,
Yeah.
smiling like crazy, just loving the shit out of BB-8. Like, I want that guy in my life so bad.
Yeah.
Like, I would probably accidentally spend thousands of dollars for a fucking real one if it was available, you know?
4 more drinks and Amazon Prime later.
Yeah, you can have that little guy running around.
No, Prime now.
Yeah.
Get in an hour.
I kind of already know that a lot of those are not available because of Christmas, so I'm not going to be able to find any of the $150 versions. But I did buy a little, what are the little, like a pop cap or whatever, like little figurines. Like, so my desk is at work is going to have a little BB-8.
Perfect.
Because because whatever. But I also
They put a lot of emotion in that little guy.
a lot of
His little body wiggle, and I mean, they did great with that.
They
that
did,
droid.
and because they cared,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, the BB-8 was actually a fan creation, right?
Was it?
Yeah, I thought the BB-8. My understanding is it was a actual robot droid that a couple of fans who were like robotics people just made on their own. As we just love this idea of a really cool droid, kind of R2-ish, but not. And I guess, but if I'm getting this wrong, I hope I'm not. But I thought that was the case, and they some Lucas people saw it, and go, "Holy shit, yes, do that!"
No, I had no idea.
Oh,
yeah,
that was the story I heard.
That's awesome. When I first heard about the BB-8 thing, I don't even remember what podcast it was. It was Paul F. Tompkins talking to some of his friends. It was right after everyone saw the BB-8 droid, and everyone reacted in kind of a weird, like, what is that? Until, like Adam said before, had not seen the movies, but like you saw when the first time you saw the actual technical demo of him rolling out on stage and realizing it was a fucking real
Yeah,
thing.
because when that first trailer released,
Yeah.
you see that right there.
Yeah.
Which on the radio you don't. But CG is to a point now
Yeah.
where it's like that could very much easily be that. And so I am,
Yeah.
so foully burned by Star Wars
by lava
in
and bad
general that
decisions.
in my denial of excitement for this movie, when it rolled out on a stage, like, yeah, the little kid in me just kind of went.
I want to hug it.
I want to tell its secrets.
I hope it loves me. That one aspect of that thing that it's real, it's a thing, is
Well, and
is the
so
most exciting
much-
shit in the world to me.
So much of the movie was practical effects. You
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
tell,
Oh,
and you could
yeah.
easily see when they were walking
You
by
can feel it. Like
the Falcon or the different X-wings. They built that shit.
Yep.
there's a scene where
You can see it.
There's a scene where Finn is running away. Like again, this is spoilers. Like, please understand. Like, I don't care if they're listening or not. Those are real humans who know. You're listening to this again. Spoilers. Not a big deal. But when Finn is running away after Rey was kidnapped, and he's running back to the party that he knows,
Yeah.
like it's an actual set.
Yeah.
You can feel the parts
Yeah.
around him.
Yeah.
In stark contrast, especially to the prequels, where like everyone walking just far enough, you can tell they have a certain kind of pacing, like marching band.
Yeah, we can go about 16 feet.
Yeah, before they
Yeah,
have to
before we
slow
run
down.
out of green screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, you felt everything about it felt like
Why
there was
does
like
everyone pace in the Old Republic? What is going on?
right.
Just go back and forth all the time.
Even the one
Why we
spot.
stare out windows all the time?
There's a one spot in the prequels that's really excellent where Anakin comes to Mace Windu, and says, Palpatine's a Sith Lord, and Windu says, "Well, we have to do something about that." And then they just walk.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, it's very serious, but they only have, they're like, well, we only go 10 more feet before we run out of platform.
but not excitedly. We have to do something about that. It's very urgent, but not urgent enough to actually
To run is not
anywhere.
Jedi-like.
Also, in a random thing,
Apparently
too,
not.
like a random concept here, I don't remember any of the hard wipes in the new one.
There was only like 3 or 4.
There was only
Yeah.
3, 4, but they're obvious, like, because in the
There was
prequels,
only 2 that were really obvious.
the prequels they did it a lot. Like
In the
like,
prequels,
like
they were
Lucas-
wiping while wiping. I mean, there was like there's 2 different horizontal wipes going on,
Yeah.
and a star wipe, and I don't know what was. It was awful.
Use a bidet at that point, right, guys?
Default
Yeah.
camcorder transition.
I think they call it the full bounty.
Sure.
It was.
The quicker picker upper. Always wiping.
You gotta use the
Give
table.
this scene the full bounty.
It was high school TV
It
learning
was.
class.
Oh, yeah, it
right?
was.
CCTV, yeah.
Channel 8.
Channel whatever. Channel Bulldogs.
So a long time ago on a podcast far, far away,
What
there
does
was
this button do?
there was a conversation about the ball droid, and I guess like a couple of comedians were talking about the BB-8 and kind of making fun of it or whatever. So like Paul F. Tompkins at one point in this clip from this video,
I'm Ball Droid. I gotta roll on out of here.
and so like the fans really picked up on that. He used it a couple of times, and so every time BB-8 was on, I kept hearing, "I gotta roll on out of here," and just smiled even bigger. Like I loved everything about that character, even when someone was also making fun of it. Like, just so happy, so happy.
Yeah, the practicality of all these sets and effects won. It won It's proof.
So
all the stuff I've been saying for years on this show about how much I hate CG.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you guys understand why I say it.
Oh, we never disagreed with it. You know, like it's such a big deal. It's such
It's just
a big
like everything
difference.
else. It's everything. You do everything in moderation. You don't have to have
Exactly, yeah.
100% CG. That's ridiculous.
And never try to pretend the brain won't notice.
Yeah.
And that's the uncanny valley. It's the
Yeah,
reason
that's-
that
yeah,
shit
there
exists.
is like it's incredible. Like I'm with you, but I understand and I really like where CG has gone and exactly what the capabilities are of it technologically
Oh,
speaking
absolutely.
and whatnot.
No.
However, it is way too easy to try to fit it in and fuck it up.
Yeah, well, it's
Like-
it's the difference between using CG to enhance a set, make it bigger than it actually is, or using CG for you can't fly Millennium Falcon in real space, obviously.
Right.
Versus let's film on green screen and fuck
Yeah,
it.
let's just do it all. Like at that point, just make a CG. Like, all the Star Wars cartoons afterward that were all like 3D, cartoony, whatever. They were excellent.
They were.
Like
And because they followed their own rules in the CG environment, right?
right, there wasn't dumbass Ewan McGregor or whatever trying to fit in into
Hey,
nothing.
he was the only good thing about all those things.
Yeah,
Or
well,
like- I mean,
it
like,
still looks shitty. And
One thing they did though.
oh, the movies hurt my feelings.
in the original trilogy, they had some kind of wire contraption, or maybe it was an actual sword type thing when they were sword fighting,
Yeah, yeah.
fight swording.
well, they were actually sticks.
Sticks.
Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they,
practice.
Yeah, they had like
practice
electric
things.
wands. They actually made sparks. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the new trilogy, it was just a hilt, and so they just swung around, and they animated it afterwards, and it did not look. In this one, they actually had wires with weights on the end. Oops. And you can tell that they are waving something around that looks real, and they're reacting to it,
Right.
and things are hitting, and it's
Well,
good.
I
They
don't know,
needed to do that.
I'm into swords, learning about swords and
Yeah, you are.
sword things. And I still disagree that it should be ever considered a sword. Like it doesn't follow any principle of any sword throughout history at all.
It was a long time ago.
However, what it does follow, and honestly, like any Filipino like close range stick fighter using one of those,
I like those guys.
unstoppable, because it's a laser stick. Like
Nice.
that technique would have been way better. Like them trying to pull off swordsmanship with it. Go fuck yourself.
Well, apparently there actually is a nerd culture thing. They've invented their own.
Oh yeah,
fighting
I've
style.
seen it. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Following that, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like,
each of the masters have their own, though. They all have their different style. So
Oh yeah, no, but I'm saying offline they actually have created a canon of Jedi's have certain mannerisms for fighting styles.
right.
where they,
It's like Jedi Bushido,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
And
so all the spin arounds and
right,
behind
they're-
the head things. Are,
And the problem is that the biggest problem when it comes to the Star Wars thing is because of the new trilogy, the prequels, that so many nerds started trying to scrub and retcon everything. We have this concept. Like the one of my favorite parts of the Plinkett reviews is bringing up the fact that when we first learned about the Force and lightsabers and stuff, it was just a one white guy who received from another white guy a sword, and he was a Jedi of a certain race. Why do all the Jedis use lightsabers? It's not necessary, but it has to be fancy. So like, you're looking at now everything's been shoved into. Everyone has to explain now why is this? So like, was Sidious? Was it Insidious? I can't remember the
Darth
Darth
Sidious.
Palpatine, yeah.
Not okay. So not Palpatine, but
Uncle Palpy.
the guy that so in the third movie, Palpatine was kidnapped by
Dooku?
Dooku, yeah.
yeah.
So Dooku has a special
No, actually,
lightsaber.
Grievous was the one who kidnapped him.
Not the-
Dooku was
right.
the other guy.
Dooku was there. So
Dooku was the apprentice, though, to Sidious.
Yes.
Dooku had a special lightsaber that had a hilt that looked like it would be used perhaps for like more jabbing.
It was like
But it was not used that
like
way.
it was a walking cane / umbrella hilt.
Yeah. But the shape is more
It
like
had
a
a duck head on the end.
But there was every single move
Flask building.
in every single fight, especially in the big cannons, in the Star Wars universe, has either been big swipes because I want to cut off an appendage, or
They love cutting
big
off appendages.
swipes because I want to cut off appendages. Like so, even if they figured out the fight the Bushido way or whatever, like it still just comes down to people whacking at each other instead of using
it
a fucking.
is-
It's a weapon that has no weight except for in the hilt. It's like I said to him after we watched the movie. It's basically you're holding a tube of cookie dough and you're swinging it around. Like it should be really easy to just poke someone like a foil. You know. Book. but whatever. People explain it away, and everyone master has a different one. Not really.
Right, but they actually did develop a style. Like they had swords people. It is a combination of kendo and a number of longsword styles and whatnot. And they sort of like
Developed over time since the beginning.
They developed it over time for the original movies.
Right.
Like it was part of that. That's kind of like how they moved and fought and whatnot.
Sure, but the best fight was when Luke would just fucking flipped his shit and just started throwing his weight into it. Just like getting pissed at Vader, knocking him down, like finally cutting off his hand. Like the style was gone because it was just this big rage-induced dark side, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and again, even if they try to explain at one point, the next thing you see is Yoda flipping his goddamn shit like he's from Cirque du Soleil.
Awful.
Like, because
Womp
they,
womp.
because of womp womp reasons.
Yeah.
Womp rat reasons.
Well,
whatever.
not impressive.
I was
just
passing along the
absurd.
Absurd.
Yeah. What if episode 1 through 3 were good things on YouTube? If you haven't seen them, go see them.
I want to watch those.
But one of the things that they actually point out is Yoda doesn't use swords. That's not his thing.
Yeah, exactly.
They take that right out.
And that brings it back to that comment about how why does every single Jedi have to do one
fucking light butter knife.
what have
like-
to do two things? All Jedis, for some reason, according to the prequels, have a lightsaber and wear robes. But if you go back to the original trilogy,
Racist.
if Obi-Wan Kenobi is hiding from the Empire, why would he dress like a Jedi? Mm-hmm. But they brought up the robe thing because, like, well, he was wearing a thing. No, that misunderstands it. And then the one fucking Jedi who has, like, he's got these, like, tendrils coming off his head.
Yeah.
And they flop around.
Yeah.
And he's got a sword that cuts through everything.
And it's like right by his floppy
it's right
tendrils.
through- yeah. Like, and Yoda wouldn't use it. If Yoda used any lightsaber, he used someone
he would
else's.
know how to use it,
He would
though.
use
He would
someone
know
else's
how to.
lightsaber. He
I
would
would
grab
think.
it from him and fucking throw it on or whatever, you know? Even if he knows.
I just
Switching
think if you're that
gears-
short, what's the fucking point?
Well,
Like,
well, the
just
point
do the
there is-
Force. Just
Yeah,
do
that-
it.
You got to
that's the
have
thing,
it
yeah.
at least to protect yourself against other Jedi that are Sith lords.
Then
that
what?
want to
What
fight.
good is the Force doing you? If you're
Right.
that
Yeah.
strong of a Force user, you're pretty much protected. You
Well,
can
Yoda's
go
not
get
the
a beer
strongest.
and not get robbed. Like
And
easy.
that's the problem when you start having multiple writers writing certain things that fall into canon, because now we've been introduced to Kylo Ren, who can hold a laser blast in air and can read fucking minds. Like, that's never happened before. Is he stronger, or we've never seen it before? Now everything has to match up with that. So, like, why use a lightsaber at all? Like, just fucking twist their heart until they die. You know, there's all these different possibilities that are all based on,
Well,
like,
and you can do
convenience
that
at the
to
time.
anyone who's not a Force user. I think that it's like if I have a knife and Dylan has a knife.
Sure.
Well, let's say Dylan doesn't have a knife.
I'm already
and we're
in.
fighting,
Yeah.
and I have a knife. Well, I have the advantage now, but he has a knife now. Now we're at least semi-even.
Sure.
But now I also have a gun.
Yeah, I see. If you pull a knife,
So
I pull a gun. That's
you
the
have two
Chicago
Force
way.
users.
right.
So I'm protecting my heart from you squishing my heart, but you're also hitting me with a sword. I need to have a sword to stop that too. So that's why Yoda would still know.
Well,
how
it's
to
saying
use
like
a sword.
in the prequels, they were saying essentially that the lightsaber was really important if someone had a gun. But
Well,
now,
yeah, sure.
Well, but now we know that a gun's not even enough. So
Yeah.
what's
Well,
the lightsaber
maybe
is
for the
only
one shot though. I mean, can it multiple?
That's what I'm saying. Like, we might see even crazier stuff.
In the extended universe, you have like the Mandalorians.
Sure.
Which, like that armor that they wear was specifically created to deflect and like hinder lightsabers.
right.
Which they show some of that in the movie.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, which is but nobody ever like. If that's not taken into account, obviously this is a thing that has occurred for a while.
Sure.
To the point where an entire army
Right.
has taken steps to thwart your fucking laser sword.
Your super butter knife. You said.
Yeah, your super butter.
Super
knife.
butter knife.
Yeah.
Well, in Yoda's
like it.
case, just because it was like, and like,
it's like a whole foot tall.
yeah, honestly, like
Yoda is the corgi of Jedi. Yeah. His little stumpy legs, his little stumpy arms.
Yeah.
Aw.
right, like it was
Yeah, I'd hug him.
preposterous, unbelievable.
And
Like
you-
I
and-
fucking hated it.
You
Yoda, get up and
give
bed.
him the power.
It's time for bed, Yoda.
Instead of jumping around and stuff, like, make him
Go to Dagobah and go be 900 years old or whatever. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a different thing. JJ did a great job with this one. It is
Oh, yeah, he did.
I mean, it's fantastic. Just like he did with the first
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Better. Because he actually
Yeah,
likes
better.
Star Wars.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But-
yeah.
He's not signed on for the next two.
No, they already have
Two
the two
different
different directors.
directors.
One's the guy from the Fast and Furious,
Yep.
like 7. And the other guy, what the other guy do? Something
Wait.
decent.
Wait, rewind.
Yeah.
We're still talking about Star Wars?
Yes.
Star Wars.
Fast and Furious director is doing
Justin Lin is doing either two, or the next one or the one after that.
No.
Yeah.
He's doing Star Trek Beyond.
He's doing Star Trek 3.
No, I think he's also doing one of the Star Wars movies.
Here, pull it up real quick.
I think.
It's
That's
actually
what I
a good
read.
director for the next one for 8.
we need to take a break anyway, so let me find out because my heart's going to be broken.
We will find it. We will break your heart.
That's true.
We'll be breaking my heart.
after this.
Dusty bricks, bitters, mix, bitter cats, split, witches, liquid on a
No. Those times you didn't have electricity?
Jesus is carrying it.
Wipe the dust off the canvas and wait till we breaks. Like, damn, what a vibe. Woo! I got my old soul shoes tripping on his deep groove.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Hey! Segment
What,
3,
what,
Fighting 3.
Episode
No. Episode
No.
73. Whatever.
That's like in 6 years from now, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, still talking about Star Wars, still hanging out with Adam, still hanging out with Ben, still hanging out with Dylan, of course.
I prefer Obi-Wan. I'm
Ben
Ben
one.
one.
I'm not
Old
hiding
Ben,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
Old Ben.
Yeah.
Old Ben. Actually, Ben, since you're here, old Ben, since you're here,
Yeah.
I have to thank you because of your love of Disney. You personally may have given them enough money to buy the franchise of Star Wars
I tried.
and make my wonderful weekend happen.
You know
This,
what?
this might actually be your doing.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, I made mention before, we have our friend Evan, who was very excited about this release.
Very excited.
To the point where when I decided I was going to see it on Friday, I was like, hey, can I see it? And he's like, yeah, every employee I have can take off time, no matter what it is, to go see Star Wars.
Yeah. This is actually more important than voting.
Yeah, there's two rules that you can take off anytime you want to see the movie, and if you spoil it, you're fired. And I'm sure he's not joking about that whatsoever.
There would probably be some kind of written thing. Yeah.
Yeah. HR would have been involved. It would have been really messy.
Yeah.
But
Ugly.
Insubordination. I think.
Friendships
Yeah.
ruined. Yeah.
just like you saw, there was a gentleman who beat another gentleman to death for ruining a part of the movie. This is a real thing that happened. Yeah. I'll bring that up in a second. But when Evan was really excited with The Force Awakens, I was kind of excited. And I mentioned this in some piece between all three of you. I did not know how much I loved, not even just going back to being a child, I forgot how much I loved the shit out of that series when I finally just saw it with Adam. Even if we weren't sitting in the same seats, we both had a really good time together. Yeah. And it's crazy.
There were at points where I would laugh at something, and the only other person laughing was you. I could hear you.
That's awesome. Yeah. I was sitting next to a guy who had seen it already. He'd seen it the night before. A friend just had tickets, and he's seen it, and he wanted to see it with his family. And it was the same situation with us, where he had his wife and another person he knew right here, and then basically there was 15 other people all scattered through the theater that they would walk in, and he'd say hey, what's going on? I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, oh, where's there? Oh, he's over here. They wanted to see it as a family, but they couldn't, and whatever.
Yeah, it was way too packed.
But he'd already seen it, and so there were multiple times where something cool would happen on the screen, and I would squee, or I would go yes, or I would laugh, and he would just giggle because he
He
already
got
knew
it,
it was
yeah.
coming. He already knew how excited I was, And also in stark contrast, when the Batman versus Superman trailer came up, and he was like, I don't know about this. We would already talk. We already talked about stuff in general. He's like, I don't know about this. And I'm like, it's weird. I'm trying to fight against it, but I'm really excited. He's like,
I am too.
I don't know. And then something would
I
happen
actually think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
something would happen in the trailer, and I'm watching the trailer for the first time in a big screen thing, and I'd see him shake his head, and I would just giggle. Same thing. And after it was done, I was like, I don't know.
Aw.
I actually think that you shaking your head slowly was better than that trailer was. And he had a good laugh about that.
There were some stinker trailers in front of that movie.
Yeah. Well, the Star Trek thing was there too. So
I
God,
get
that
one.
fucking shit is irritating.
it is.
It's so bad.
Oh, yeah. That point from the earlier segment, we have a correction.
Oh, sure.
It was the guy who did Looper, Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's doing the next one. And the dude scheduled to do the one after that is the Jurassic World director, Colin, what's the name? Tomorrow.
Tomato.
Always keeps creeping in. Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, Jurassic World guy. Thankfully, not Fast and Furious guy.
Yeah, very thankful it's not the Fast and Furious guy. Because
Yeah,
seriously,
we watching Star Trek right now.
I still love this song. I'm not
Yeah,
going
it's
to
an
lie.
excellent song.
Hey, it is. It's not Star Trek.
I'm surprised that they got to use it, though.
They don't really license
Considering-
their stuff out. The Beastie Boys do not.
Well, no, but
Yeah, generally speaking, they don't.
MCA died
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, but in in his like will, it said, "No, I do not agree to licensing our music out for any commercial purpose
I think for
whatsoever."
commercial
for
purposes.
commercials, I think it was more specific to actual commercials. Yeah.
No, they get a
What is
shit-
the trailer?
No. The
Well, no, it's actually it's in the movies. They're getting a shitload of money for
Right,
that.
right,
and
right.
My understanding is the ones they have approved, they're very selective. It's because they like Star Trek, so that's when they
Sure.
put their movie.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, like
I would agree with that.
Clark
because-
Gable, or actually, probably one of the more recent ones that was really frustrating was crap. He's dead. There's a bar across the street that's a theme bar for Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash's Red Ring or Ring of Fire
Yeah.
was someone was trying to use it for a hemorrhoid commercial.
I mean,
and
Well, it's
Yeah.
topical.
yeah.
cream.
There's an itch up in my pants.
And they said no because that's
Screw
really
you,
distasteful.
hemorrhoids.
You know,
Fuck you.
Clark Gable using a vacuum cleaner. It's the same thing. Eventually, the
Oh,
family
it was
says
the whole
not Clark Gable.
they had a whole Diet Coke or something commercial back in the 80s, all black and white. Not 80s, a couple years ago. Like Louis Armstrong and stuff drinking a Coke, and everyone went crazy.
And some families are prepared for it. Some families fight for it. Some families are also wrong. You guys heard that the crones is what the podcasters call it. The crones who own the rights to the Happy Birthday song.
Oh, they finally lost.
Yeah, they
finally lost.
Take that, crown.
Someone finally found. Just the longest time is like the idea of like you can't use the Happy Birthday song in public or like for commercial release because
Or even in movies.
or in movies or whatever because these sisters own the rights and they were really litigious. You had to pay them copyright or whatever. And then finally, within the last I guess 2 or 3 months,
Yeah.
they found proof that song existed way before they
Yeah,
had any rights to it. Yeah.
Yeah, the basic judgment came down to all of the claims you guys even have on this were really tenuous to begin with.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were tenuous to begin with in the 20s. So at this point, it's public domain because the song is over 150 years old. So, sorry. Yeah, you
Well,
cannot try to fight anymore.
Disney is great at extending trademarks.
Yes, yes.
For other
They
people
are.
accidentally. And,
They
yeah.
they are the ones that did it.
Yeah.
They are the ones that made it possible to make.
All fucking for Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Can't kill me.
True story. He actually is the Sith Lord controlling everything. It's Mickey Mouse.
You know what? Sign me up.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. I don't even care if that destroys the industry or destroys that specific series. Like, yeah, I'd be happy with that.
Honestly, they can't do any worse than what George Lucas already did to his own property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
again, we're all geeking out ridiculously over this movie.
Yeah.
It was everything that should have happened for the fan service. It was everything that should have happened for the intellectual property.
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams obviously loved it and killed it. It's awesome.
I mean,
It's
Lucas
what
really
should have
teed
happened.
it up for JJ. I mean, it's really hard to do worse than
Exactly,
what Lucas
exactly.
did to it.
And that's the thing too. Is like I even mentioned to Adam after we were finished with it. Like, would we have received this movie? Would we have been gifted this movie if
If the ones didn't
if
suck
the
so
prequels
much.
weren't so bad?
Yeah. I don't
No,
know.
I don't think we would have.
Because there's something about, and like, and I mentioned off air,
again,
like something really important to me about the concept of having a good character arc and like how the act should work in a movie. Trying to reduce that as far as possible. But like one of my favorite things about The Force Awakens specifically is that the character arc that we learned from all of the original trilogy, from 4, 5, and 6, for Han Solo happened in this movie, in one fucking movie.
Yep.
You see him for the first time. You see him as this rogue. He's been hiding or he's been racing. It's just him and Chewie. He's not going to help. He's going to help. He sees Leia. He sees his son. His son kills him. And the last thing he sees, last thing you see him do is just love again. Like, he goes through the entire fucking thing in this one chunk because someone wrote it well, you know?
Lawrence Kasdan.
But we would, yes, Lawrence
The guy who
Kasdan,
did Empire.
But is that...
So
Was
there
it-
you
was
go.
it-
Case closed.
Is it because we had so many critics saying this is what was missing for someone to say this is all they need? Let's go basic. Like, could like I mean, we'll never know for sure.
again-
Yeah, that's an academic argument. You can't. I mean,
Yeah.
but the prequels were that bad.
Yeah.
That
Again,
had they not
exactly.
been that bad,
Yeah.
The thing is,
But yeah.
but we've
I
got
wonder
where we are. I don't know.
because as I said before, like when the first prequel was announced, I really went as above and beyond as I could to be fucking excited for it.
Oh yeah, I saw
And
it in
got
theater. Yeah.
nothing but a fucking letdown.
Yeah.
3 times over.
Yeah, but
and
I
so
I'm with you. I could not have been more excited to see new Star Wars after you. That was 1999 when it came out, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, 99. Last Star Wars '83. I'm like, yes, I could not be more happy to see that. Oh, they did that.
Yeah.
Like enough that I never saw another theatrical release until this movie.
Same here.
Like
Yeah.
literally, like the first, I watched Phantom Menace, and then that's the reason why I watched the second one in a fucking cam rip. And it's like, if this is already terrible, like, and then it wasn't until like many years later that I tried them out again. It's like, this sucks. Thank God anti-cheese versions, but at the same time, like it also made me forget. It made them bad movies instead of stupid movies. Like I mentioned a bit before, when you don't have the Jar Jar character acting like Jar Jar and like having that thing, like then you really recognize how bad they are instead of just saying this is goofy, this is for kids or whatever. And then it's just really poorly written,
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Well, that's always been one of Lucas's biggest problems.
All right, but
it's funny.
He can't write at all.
he can't write for it. For,
I would
can't
be
write for
willing to
anything.
bet that the effort that is The Force Awakens
Yeah.
would be just as good and just as exciting, and we would feel exactly the same as we do now about it, even if the prequels didn't exist. They never happened.
I'd like to think that people care that much to say that in a vacuum that it would be just as good, but I feel like
It is legitimate fun. It
is.
is.
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is.
From
Yeah.
start to finish. There is nothing about that movie that's so stupid or so bad.
Totally agree.
That
Yeah.
you can't stop just going, I am having the best time of my life. Like,
Well, it's kind of like
Assuming you've
the
seen it.
end,
assuming you've seen it.
Yeah, the end of the.
Ah, fuck it. I'll get in trouble. Sorry, Jesse. I saw it.
That's how good a movie it is. He couldn't hold himself in any longer.
Yeah.
He had to out himself.
I can't
on the
bring
show.
I got to bring the caper to a close.
out of himself, McWaters.
the
right one was
going back to that, these suck so hard. This makes this reboot so much better.
Yeah.
It's like the Pierce Brosnan James Bond to the Daniel Craig one. Those movies sucked. So, yeah, it started off great.
Yeah,
GoldenEye was a great movie.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Still watchable.
Sure.
And it just got worse and worse.
Come on, Dr. Christmas
So
Jones.
bad.
All right.
Nuclear scientist.
All right, so okay, look at as an example. Then look at the James Bond movies as an example. Do you think if the James Bond movies, a series of movies, maintain a high quality with good actors, that we would have the Bourne series, the Taken series, the what crap even?
Oh, well,
fucking
Taken needs to not
with
happen.
Mission Impossible.
Well,
would
Bourne-
Mission Impossible gone crazy like fun?
Born were a series of books, so
Well, sure, but like, would they be popular enough to make them into movies in order to fill this void of some really good spy stuff?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, as far as really good spies go, James Bond is not exactly near the top
No,
of
he's
the
probably-
list.
no, sure,
He's
but-
the worst spy ever.
He is. Yeah,
he
but-
introduces himself wherever he goes.
for the sake of entertainment, of like missing this gap and having this gap. So okay, so in, like to take it to the last point, you know, we bring up the fact that we really enjoy the practicality of the effects in this movie. But did you guys you guys can notice then when CG happens, especially when the characters are CG. Like we have Snoke, right?
Yep.
Who's like now the
Snoke?
Snoke. Excuse me. It was Snoke. You know who.
I thought it was just a really huge dude at first, and I was like,
Giant Jedi. Yeah, sure.
what the fuck?
But
And
like
thankfully, it's just a hologram.
just a hologram.
Yeah.
thing.
So it's
okay,
allowed
yeah.
to be CG.
Nice.
When he disappeared, I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
It's just
okay.
Voldemort.
Yeah, it's
Right.
It's cool.
But like okay, even Voldemort is a good example.
Voldemort
like,
crossed with Arseface from Preacher.
you know,
like,
like the Voldemort thing. You know, his nose probably exists in a real actor, but at least they do a pretty good job of covering it up. But like, you know that, and then I even brought up because I couldn't remember the name of the character when they go to and they meet the little
Yeah,
tiny
Maz,
thing.
yeah, obviously that's all CG face.
yeah, from
Maz Kanata.
yeah, from Psychonauts.
from Psychonauts.
Yeah,
There you go.
she looks exactly like
But
that.
when you see that, because everything else is so practical, it's the stark contrast that can be it can be a little,
And it was.
and you can deal with
her,
it. Sure.
her character only, like the guy who exchanged the bread tokens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as bad. Yeah.
That was not as bad. For some reason, that guy I was like, yeah, you're a guy.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're right. Maz, she was kind of.
A little out of place.
Little.
Yeah.
And only because we had everything else.
But I was super interested in her character. Like,
Yeah.
I want to
Oh,
know
yeah.
everything about her now.
Yeah. And you can do that very
It's
well.
like Yoda's girlfriend or something.
The current fan theory, which is really based on absolutely nothing, is that the Snoke character will actually be like that's a very small throne, and he's basically going to be from the same Yoda.
Is he Yoda?
Yoda size, yeah. Which would be a really, I think, a really interesting way of having.
He's a Yoda.
The only reason why he's that big is because he has to overproject, like the Wizard of Oz.
Oh man, we
Snoke
can't go in, there's
Troy,
like
excuse me.
16 Yodas.
Oh yeah, it's Friday, guys. It's Yoda night.
That would be curious because that's like the Yoda race is I think one of the only that I can think of off the top of my head races that is not duplicated somewhere as a different character,
Yeah.
a side character backstory.
Not
There's no
represented anywhere
other
else.
Yoda
Yeah,
someplace
the,
else.
the only thing about that
There's
can
more
think of.
ETs than there are Yodas.
That I believe that's correct.
there was a unreleased playing card or baseball card for when the original trilogy came out.
Yeah.
That showed multiple Yodas bowing to a Yoda statue.
Okay.
It got pulled. It was not released
'Cause they're
but
trying to-
someone snuck it out of the. So there's like 2 or 3 out there, and they sell for thousands and thousands of dollars if you can get them.
Nice.
But so there is some lore, whether it's accepted or not, that
Yeah.
there are multiple of him. But
And I love,
unknown.
I love the idea, especially when canon starts to spread so much that the lore then also has its own myths.
They're also
You know,
also
like, and I've loved that in video games. There's been a lot of opportunities for like these
there are.
back alley stories about something that was fictional in the first place. So like I like the idea that like they keep it in canon just in case, and also it makes sense. Like Yoda didn't just bring out of nothing. You know, he wasn't an int or
Yeah, well, same
a
thing.
Groot. You know,
besides the
he was a forced birth.
it was okay.
besides the terrible Star Wars Christmas special. Do you see any other Wookiees?
Well, I mean, in the new trilogy.
yeah.
The prequel.
And the prequels are the whole
there
planet
it
of
is.
Wookiees,
Look at that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Actually, all the extended universe, he's from the
Unreleased.
Kashyyyk, the whole race that they.
Isn't that from
but you're right,
Spaceballs?
Maybe Yoda is a no, never mind. I was gonna say maybe Yoda is a Mogwai that finally grew up and lost his
After
hair.
midnight, yeah.
yeah,
But Adam, I think you're right. In the actual movies, I don't think you ever see another Wookiee either. So
Right.
yeah.
even in background characters, or
in the old trilogy, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't think-
But
well, I mean, like
because
this-
I refuse at this point after this much time and the amazing experience we all just had.
Yeah.
yeah, 1 through 3 didn't happen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't consider those.
I would rather watch the Matrix movies, the more than one Matrix movie, if such a thing existed.
You'd rather have a fever?
Jesus Christ, man! I know you hate him, but like, don't just make shit up. Oof.
But yeah, I
Maybe
would
I'm not
rather.
dark enough for that yet. I don't
I
know.
would very much rather like relegate the 1 through 3 to the Christmas special status. It didn't fucking happen. I don't want to
But
hear
Boba
of it
Fett.
anymore. What about Boba Fett?
They were in both,
Yeah.
and now you know.
Oh, if it's dope. I don't care.
Now you know.
No, he's awesome. He's terrible. Anyway, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back and we'll do our toasts. And we love you.
Wipe the dust off the canvas and wait till we break like
I get tired of the laughter of children. It is good.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes
This shit
it
is
just
grating
needs
after
something.
a while.
Yeah.
Ooh, what a feeling, what a nice mood. A bad boom rock. We're here to rock you. It's like, damn, what a vibe. Woo.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Hey!
Segment 4, the Fantastic Four. Not the Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Still hanging out with
The
Adam. Still
Fantastic.
not the Fantastic. We have
Fantastic.
Yes, Fantastic.
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah.
I deal with that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well done, Ben.
Oh wow.
French toastic.
This is our toast segment. This is also an opportunity for us to talk about the things we didn't cover this week. Obviously, there's some stuff in Austin about Uber and Lyft that is far more complicated than it probably needs to be. But it essentially,
We don't have those anymore here.
Yes.
yeah. Well, in February is the last time we'll be able to take an Uber or Lyft unless City Council in Austin decides to renege on the fingerprint requirement.
Yeah.
Which, if you have a Texas license, they have at least one of your fingerprints.
Yep.
Well, whatever.
Your thumb, I think. Right?
Yeah.
I think it's
index finger.
it's probably more than it's going to be.
more than it's going to be. What do you mean?
Like there's a lot of
It's background check.
what's going crazy right now, and Uber and Lyft will still continue to work in Austin after past February. I bet.
Well, it's a power move on Uber and Lyft to walk away from it in
Yeah.
order to show that they're powerful.
Yeah.
The same thing that happened in San Antonio.
They won't.
Because San Antonio did the same thing. They said like fingerprints are necessary, and Uber and Lyft said no. And then within the year, they said, well, fuck. Like Adam and I were talking about this before the show started. Like you were literally at any point where you were literally trying to get people to get so drunk that they. Austin is known for drinking.
Yeah.
Oh,
that-
actually, we were rated like the
good
number
at it.
one booziest city in America.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all we got. Like honestly, like when people come
Museums.
visit, like from out of state or out of town or whatever, like ultimately every single fixture you decide to take them to that's Austin,
Yeah.
like that to you,
Yeah.
and that there may be loads of enjoyable other stuff.
Yeah.
But ultimately, everything that we do in this town is just another excuse to go drinking.
We're a liquor-based economy.
We're-
Yes.
yes, yeah.
We don't have shit else.
Yeah.
As a city goes, we fucking suck unless you love to drink.
As
Yeah.
soon as you're done watching those bats on Congress, you go drink somewhere.
Yeah,
Right.
or if you're not already drinking
Yeah.
while you're watching the
Yeah.
bats.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's really frustrating because there's this option. We actually have an option, especially in Austin, which is the most liberal you can get in Texas. When we can't find anything better than the light rail that doesn't go any fucking where, say like, well, now we have a public transportation style thing that's now getting kicked out of town.
Well, our chief of police actually argued in front of the city council saying,
Yeah.
don't
Say-
get rid of this. This
Yeah.
saves hundreds of lives a year, and tens of thousands of drunk drivers are not on the street.
Yeah, when that guy goes and says, "You have no idea what an epidemic drunk driving is in this town,"
Yeah.
because it is.
It's great.
Because that's the most fun you can have after you've been drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm even telling my friend Brandon, who came from California, like Brandon came to Austin. Brandon, and I love that dude to death. He's our botanist friend. Like, and the problem every time anyone who's listening to the show who's ever been here to visit me, and I'm like, well, let's go to Don's, is because there's literally nothing else fun to do unless you like the band that's in town, and then you're going to drink there anyway. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody argues that point. They argue the music. Oh, well,
Or
what about the
tacos.
music?
Well,
And I'm
put it this
like,
way.
yeah, but
People-
what are you doing there?
People don't come to South by Southwest or ACL Fest to just listen to music. They're getting shit-faced while they're doing it.
Yes. Yeah,
Because
sure.
that's what makes the music tolerable half the time. Right. One.
Yeah.
That's the
And
reason
then-
why we're
and
from.
getting taken.
We're from Austin, and all we want to do is go to Disney World and get trashed.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, yeah.
Like I want to go. I want to go. I want like
Yes.
Ocean's 11 Disney World, where we pretend to get trashed just so we can get to Disney jail, just so we can break out and get to Disney Vatican Land. Everything underneath that motherfucker. Okay,
Things are going crazy.
I'm gonna edit that out because that's
I want to do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, now you're talking. Right? I'm down for this. Capers? Great. Mickey? Eh. Fuck him.
So as part of our plan, we have to steal a costume and walk around the park in one of the outfits.
Well, I mean, I have a full.
No, those guys are guarded. Like, if there's just a character walking around without their entourage, they would know immediately.
Really? Well, see,
Never tell me
but
the
now that we
odds.
know that,
We need a guy on the inside. There's always a guy on the inside.
Yeah.
So Ben, I think you're pretty good right now. I think you can quit or cut. Okay. Again, this is all I did because we can't tell our plan to other people.
I'm not
Disney's
ruining
11, yeah.
my thing with Disney for this caper. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No, but you get to live with them intimately, and you can disavow that you ever knew us.
You can disavow all knowledge of our
Podcast.
everything.
Yeah.
No, Ben does have too much to lose. He can't be banned for life from Disney World. That would
No,
hurt him.
but I'm
too.
fine with
We'd
getting
be
banned for life
But
from
we'd be
Disney
shitty
World.
friends to Ben. We can't do that.
No, I'll protect Ben.
9 bartenders on duty.
I'll disavow any knowledge of
Yeah,
Ben.
disavow. Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Plus, once you go, you're gonna
I'll
love
tell
it.
him. I'll tell them.
You're gonna get in there and be like, "Let's do this cake." Oh man,
Yeah.
they're making candy in that window. What the hell?
And that's their ultimate defense.
Just a barbershop quartet singing to me? Why? I love it, but why?
I want to hug him.
Yeah,
Let's go see what Abraham Lincoln's doing.
yeah. Let's go.
Welcome to the Hall of Presidents.
I'm Adam Sandler. Anything else in the news that we missed? That was, I mean, like,
CISA.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
that's nice.
CISA CISA's too difficult
Yeah.
to really try to explain.
CISA-
without-
CISPA 2,
Farm-
CISPA 3.
Yeah.
Farmer Bro.
Yeah, Farmer Bro.
Oh,
Martin-
Farmer Bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce the last name?
Shkreli.
Shkreli?
Shkreli.
Vomit on his sweater already. Martin Shkreli.
Oh, well, so he apparently has a YouTube channel where he does live streams. Where
I
he
watched a little
he
bit of it.
records
It was-
himself for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Rambling.
More
Yeah.
than 4 hours.
No,
that
per
was,
episode.
Yeah. That was a 4-hour and 40-minute stream that
Yeah.
you linked.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's the kind of guy who like is just going to try to exist in some way. But he was. I don't know. I want to know more about his back history because I want to know how to be that
Hate
weird
him
and
correctly?
rich. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like
Yeah.
hate him too. So the big deal that happened in the last, like, I guess, couple of weeks.
That's not
is-
hard.
So, like, we know for a fact that this is the guy who took the toxoplasmosis. He worked as a CEO for a company. He increased a drug that helps against toxoplasmosis specifically for AIDS patients
Yeah.
or people who would be, whatever. He increased it for
Yeah,
750,000%
like
or
13
whatever.
bucks a pill. It's like $860
Right.
a pill.
So people got mad at him for that. He said he was going to change the price. They never changed the price. He's still a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then the Wu-Tang album.
He
came
bought the
out.
Wu-Tang, yeah.
And the Wu-Tang album was really big deal. It was One Night in Shaolin. It was a very specific release. Only one album, only one existence of this thing. It was a box that came with like a bottle of like $50,000 whiskey. It was a $2 million purchase. And it had an 88-year contract that said that you are the only owner that can use it. And after 88 years, you can sell it again. But you can't sell it. But you can give it out for free to anybody. And so when we found out that this Martin dude, had that album, we knew for a fact he was never going to give it out to anyone else.
And that's true, he did.
There was a Kickstarter, too. There was a Kickstarter
Yeah,
from
yeah.
fans who were just trying to get the $2 million to buy the fucking thing, and he swiped it up. And then his quote that he was like, he was going to save it for a rainy day. He wasn't even going to listen to the fucking album. He was going to save it for a rainy day, or if Taylor Swift wanted to come to his house.
Yeah.
So he was going to try to proposition this Wu-Tang album
Wow.
for sex with Taylor Swift. Like, how can you get any worse
Although
already?
she could
That's
probably write a
pretty
pretty
bad.
sweet song out of that.
So-
now, I guess the punchline though is he paid for that Wu-Tang album by a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, and he got arrested.
Yes.
So
Does that make the contract null and void?
I hope so.
it's still his.
Well, actually, no, I know. There's some.
The FBI
Yeah.
They actually responded.
The FBI tweeted back, "No, we do not have the Wu-Tang album."
Yeah. Okay.
Like it was such a large chunk of people trying to talk to the FBI about that Wu-Tang album that their Twitter handle had to respond. Like we live in the fucking golden age of what the fuck is
The
going
FBI
on?
has to tweet. No, sorry, brah.
Yeah,
It really is over.
Yeah. It's all
We had to
We're not
take
even
time
a
out,
country anymore.
Stopping terrorism to tell you we don't have the Wu-Tang album.
yeah.
Rome is burning.
And there was a great meme of the picture of Martin before, like just his face and his big dumb like crazy weird
His
smile.
shit-eating-
Yeah, his shitting grin and like how rich he is and how he's like I don't give a shit about things. And then when he's arrested and he's wearing a hoodie
Yeah.
and like being pulled away, and the meme is only listen to Wu-Tang one time.
They ain't nothing to mess with.
yeah. Do not fuck with Wu-Tang.
No.
But so he went to jail for like 12 hours, posted a $4 million bond,
Yeah.
and he goes immediately on YouTube to shit in front of a microphone and like, hey, I'm gonna play guitar to my ex-girlfriend, and yeah, I got arrested.
It is.
That's
It is
pretty-
hands
that's
down
pretty
the
white.
most boring thing I've
And apparently
ever
he has
watched on YouTube.
fans who like tune into his
Yeah, people
site.
who are like chatting with him. He's like, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good."
He's such a piece of shit.
It'll be fine because like no matter what happens, he's rich enough that he'll probably just pay a fine and then just walk away from
I don't know. He's
it.
not, all the money he basically has had like the past like 10 years is not his. He's
Oh yeah, sure.
he's been doing Ponzi schemes and hedge fund manipulation. It's like,
Well, yeah, and
the investors will take everything from him now. So, assuming the government doesn't first. Yeah.
and Madoff did go to jail. And he's going to be
He
there
did
for a
go to
long fucking
like
time.
the rest of his
Yeah.
life, basically.
So maybe we'll see.
There's
Yeah,
hope.
There's hope.
Yeah, there's hope.
There's a new hope.
Well played. And cheers to the Star Wars circle.
There you go. Yeah.
Toast to Star Wars.
Yeah,
To-
you done good.
To coming back.
It's
You've
the-
done damn good.
Yeah,
Damn
you did.
good.
Thank you.
I was just talking about Ben being good, but the Star Wars was good too.
Yeah.
All y'all did good.
This is time to go to plugs. Ben, do you have anything you want to plug? Anything that's happened recently that you want to give a shout out to?
Nope. Disney World.
Websites, Disney World, people that you like.
I mean, Disney World is like probably one of the most visited websites in the world, I guess. But
So not that then?
I don't
They
think
don't
I plug
need
that
that.
one. Yeah.
Anything you saw recently that we didn't talk about that you think is pretty funny, like a Google result or a picture or anything that you were like, hey, someone should check this out because it'll change their life?
If you Google the best chat client, it is not Trillion.
I don't know. The Google search came up with Trillion.
It doesn't
so
show up like that.
I don't
no matter
know.
what Travis Keldorf sends you.
I send the official Google results.
The official Google.
I showed you the results. Like
You,
you can't,
showed me something.
You can't fake that. If you type in anything else, it changes the result. I'm just saying.
doesn't.
my friend. Adam, do you have anything you want to plug?
I have two.
Okay.
One shout out
What's your favorite
of my favorite.
of the two?
The second one.
Okay, do the second one.
No, I'm gonna do the first one.
We're on a time
Shout out to
crunch
California. Your trees are better than ours.
It's true.
Yeah, it is
Other
true.
than that, fuck off.
That's also true.
Yeah.
We have
And
we have more
shout,
water.
shout out to encryption. Let's get better at that, guys.
Sure.
Let's do that.
Gotta do something.
Yeah.
But I want my phone from 1995 to work on the internet.
Good for you.
Yeah. The website, the Life Protect or whatever, is it Life Protect? The site that's all about like protecting
Yeah, they got
your
hacked.
social security.
Yeah.
That not only they got hacked, but something like they're going to have to pay out.
LifeLock.
LifeLock. Yeah, that guy's gotten his identity stolen 13 times.
Not just that guy. They're actually going to have to pay out to customers like $100 million.
Evan had
for
LifeLock.
not doing their job right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's almost like an investment opportunity. We should have just signed up for the product to wait for them to fail.
Buy Bitcoin.
Well, or buy Bitcoin.
Evan had LifeLock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his right now actually I am Evan. Technically, the next 25 minutes. Some credit cards, some magazine subscriptions.
Dylan,
Done.
is there anything you want to
Magazines.
plug?
Yes, please. Do I have to plug? Just Star Wars.
People you like, people you hate.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars all the time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
The Nash Awakens.
Yeah, perfect timing. The Nash Awakens. Ben, thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Oh, thanks you
Adam,
for having
thanks-
me again.
I am so happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Dylan, thanks for helping me run the
Of
show.
course, always a pleasure.
If you like the show, you want to know more about the show, you can go to drunkcastlive.com. It's drunkcastlive.com. We're on Facebook at Drunkcast Live. Drunkcast Live. Facebook.com/drunkcastlive. We're at Drunkcast Live on Twitter. You can find us on the Stitcher store. Just look for Drunkcast Live. Pretty soon there's going to be a Google Play version of podcast. We're Drunkcast Live on that as well. A couple other markets, sure, but just go to the iTunes store and look for Drunkcast Live and make a little comment, make a little vote, and say up or down. I don't even give a shit. We can find out if people like it because we're not going to change unless someone says they don't like a thing.
Maybe not even then.
But
Shotline.
Oh, yeah. If you would like to respond to anything we've said, if you're so mad that you didn't hear the spoiler alert somehow, and you're mad that I brought up the fact that Han Solo died, sorry, then Drunkcast Live, questions at drunkcastlive.com, or you can text us or phone call 412-440-7468. Be as mad as you want, or if you disagree with anything we said in general, or if you just hate the fact that people can't hear you speak.
Surely we must have pissed off some Star Wars fans somehow.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You must have triggered somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we know they like to talk, so send us a text.
Yeah, send us a text, 412-440-7468. That's 412-440-SHOT. 412-440-7468.
What's that number again?
412-440-7468.
Okay.
Leave it in your phone. Put it as booty call. Anytime you see something,
yeah.
something kind of funny,
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Or-
you're gonna call your ex-girlfriend, don't.
yeah, don't.
Call us.
Call us instead.
We're
us
your
instead.
ex-girlfriend.
Hey, baby. I want to come over. Is that cool?
Shh, baby, it's okay.
We'll play that. We'll give you a shout out. And we'll even send you. Oh, I forgot. I need to ask you to send some koozies over to for our last caller.
We'll do that.
I think that's the majority of all the important stuff. If you wanna send some money, you're also on drunkcastlive.com. Yeah.
I'm tipsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. That means it's working.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drunkcast is working again.
Yeah. That's
This
it for this
machine
week.
can't
We
stop.
will see you next week, and remember to podcast responsibly.
Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas. We will see you next Saturday.
Happy
of course.
holidays.
Oh, you mother...
One of these days.
We'll see you next week.
We come to let you know what the deal is.
Uses beds.
Dogs.
People without kitchen islands, or